Welcome to using Google Slides to create digital worksheets. In this presentation, you are going to learn how to create a worksheet that will be a background of a Google slide. And the good part about this is that once you've created these backgrounds, students won't be able to manipulate and move them around. So this is a pretty simple idea, and the whole idea is creating a worksheet that would then be a JPEG that you can make a background. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to do is to go to Google Draw. In order to go to Google Draw, remember, go to your drive, click New, More, Google Drawings. The benefit of using Google Draw is that then you can create something and save it to your computer as a JPEG, which can then be created as a background. So if I wanted to, as in our example in the introduction video, create a notes worksheet, I would go to Google Draw. And the first thing I want to do is create a background. So maybe I want my background to look like lined paper. I'll go to Insert, Image, and I'm going to search the web. So if I want to search something like lined paper, I'll just type it up in this box that'll pop up on the right side of the screen, and then choose one of the images, and it'll give you lots of different options. I like just this first one, so I'm going to select it and click Insert. All I have to do at this point is size my lined paper so that it's the same as my sheet. Okay, so now I have my background. Here's my lined paper. And the first thing I want to do, since it's a worksheet, is to give it a title. So my title will be something like How to Create a Worksheet. Okay, so I've got a title. Now maybe I want to make this a flow chart, so I'm going to insert my first box, and I can just use a shape for this. I could also use a text box, either one, doesn't matter, because I'm saving this as a JPEG. So now it's going to pop up with a blue background, so I'll go to my bucket and I'll fill it with a plain white background. Maybe I want my box to really stand out, so I can give it a border color that's bright blue, and then I can make the border look thicker by going to border weight and thicken that. Alright, so I have my first box in my flow chart. Inside of that, I'll say this is step 1. Okay. Since it's a flow chart, I'll add an arrow saying next step. Maybe I'll fill this one with red, and then I'm going to add my step 2 box. Okay, so obviously when you create yours, you're going to customize your worksheet to whatever you need it to be, but since this is a quick example, this is how you might create your worksheet. Okay, so let's say we're all set. This is exactly what we want students to do. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to save this as a JPEG. I'm basically creating this to be an image. And so I'm going to go to File, Download. And it gives me lots of options. I want this to be a JPEG. And it downloads to my computer. So that's my first step. I've created my worksheet, and I'm going to now make it my background. So I go to Background, and I'm going to select Choose Image. Since I've downloaded this to my computer, I'm going to click Browse and Downloads. Whether you're on a PC or Mac, you'll have an option for downloads, so you want to make sure you go to that downloads file to find it, and there it is. I'll open it, and there's my worksheet. It's now my background, so you see I can try and drag it and mess around with it, move it around, but I can't because it's my worksheet. It's now a background. Students can see this, but they can't alter or change it. But before I'm done, what I'd like to do is add text boxes. So this, when the students click in the box, this they will be able to edit. Maybe I want to create a specific font. Maybe I want it centered and I want a bigger size. I can change all that so that when students go in, the only thing that they can alter and edit in my worksheet is the text box that I've provided. So now I have a worksheet that's tailored to exactly what I want. There's other ways that you can also create a JPEG. On a Mac, you're able to take a screenshot by clicking Shift-Command-4, drag the box so it covers what you want, and now I have an image. If you're on a PC, you are able to use the snippet tool. If you're unfamiliar with how to use the snippet tool, click the pineapple and that will take you to a YouTube video that gives you a tutorial on the snippet tool. Okay, so once I have taken my screenshot, it's the same process. I click background, choose image. I'm going to upload it from my computer. And this time it's saved to my desktop, so I'll click there. So when you do the snippet tool or you do a screenshot, it saves to your desktop. And so that's another way that you can create a worksheet that students are unable to manipulate or change. Now you might have a worksheet that you have already created that you don't want students to be able to manipulate. It may be a PDF. Let me find my PDF. Okay, and so on this PDF, maybe I want them to do this Explore dinner party. So I would do the same thing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this already created worksheet. I'll screenshot what I want, and then I go and I insert that into my slideshow and then add text boxes. So I go to my background, choose my image. Since I took a screenshot, I'll upload from my computer. And then I just have to add text boxes where I'd like them to type. When I do these types of things with already created PDFs of worksheets, what I'll normally do is split them in half so they're not quite so small. So this whole worksheet I would probably make over 2 slides so that it's easier for students to see. So those are simple basic worksheets that you might use in the classroom. Another good way of using this technique is a drag and drop. In 7th grade World Studies, we use this drag and drop when we do the clumbing exchange. So students would drag products from the new world to the old world and vice versa. You can do that pretty simply. You might even use this, and it would be a great tool with younger kids for sorting. So if I go to Google Drawings, I can create the same thing. And so I'll put in my text box, and I might call this just four-sided shapes. And in this I might have students edit different shapes that are four-sided from shapes that are not four-sided. Okay, so I have my four-sided shapes, and then I may decide that I'd like to use a table. So I go to Insert Table, and I can size this. So that it works, and then I'll say four-sided shapes, and then not four-sided shapes. Make sure my titles are nice and big, give it a fun font. And so with this, students will put shapes with their four sides on the left and the shapes without four sides on the right. And maybe I'll even give an example here. So there's a four-sided shape, and here's a shape without four sides. Okay, so again, I want to create a background that can't be manipulated. So I'll go to File. Oops, better give it a name. PD drag and drop. Okay, so I'll go to File, Download as a JPEG, and then I go to my slideshow. And I'm going to create a background that's my table. So I'll choose my image. Again, remember, background, choose image, and I'm uploading it. I've downloaded this, you can tell. So drag and drop PD, and I open and there we go. So I have my four-sided shapes. Now I'll need to obviously add the shapes for them to drag and drop, so I'll create maybe a rectangle, and then I can add a triangle. I can add a square. I can add a circle. And so now I have a really easy way to drag and drop where the background can't be manipulated, but students are able to show that they understand the concept. And so that's another quick and easy way of doing a digital worksheet. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. These are really easy and I think very valuable tools, even though it's not a super difficult concept. When I came across this in a training, I thought, wow, this is such an easy idea, but it makes things so much easier because you don't get the emails from students who are having a lot of difficulty because they accidentally deleted a box or something like that. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, please send us an email. Thanks.